Chapter 10. The time had arrived, my children, when the great double empire of Egypt was in deplorable condition. The laws of the land were set at naught, and murder and robbery were rife. Revolt was also breaking out amongst the two sects of Aman and Atan, and the king lived more like a prisoner in his capital at El Amarna. At length, broken in health and seared to the soul by his failure to bring out the religious revolution, he fell sick and contracted hemorrhage of the lungs, which was equivalent to what is called pneumonia in your present day of incarnation. The death of Khanatan was a signal for the general uprising of the people of all classes. The two chief centers of Ra Atanu at Heliopolis and El Amarna were able for a time to carry on their religion, but after a brief period of 2 years these remnants of the religion of Khanatan perished, and the worship of Amun was again constituted at Thebes. The great temples and palaces of Atan, which had been built at great labor and expense by Khanatan, were despoiled, and the great granite blocks used for their construction carried to Thebes, where temples were erected in honor of Amun and his wife Mut. Also were the old temples repaired. The Atanuic shrine at Thebes, which I have already mentioned, was destroyed as far as the external buildings were concerned, but all trace of the subterranean chambers was lost, for the suspicions of the holy fathers of Aman had not been aroused, so that no thorough search was made. The actual upper temple, which was rectangular in construction, was despoiled, as was also the wall which protected it from public view. There was also the great altar to the sun's disk, which was surmounted by the life-giving orb, from which reached out hands after the same manner as the symbol which surmounted the great temple of the sacred heights of Atlantis, which I have already described to you, my children, in the commencements of these my chronicles. Statues of King Khanatan were also lavishly exhibited round the courts of the temple, and he was often depicted in the guise of the sun spirit who was Horus, my beloved son and Re child. Some statues of the king have already been found in connection with this temple, but more have yet to come to light. I would also tell you that the discovery of this temple at Thebes was prophesied through the pen of El Erosufu during the middle of 1925, and many can come forward in support of these things which I now tell you. Also, my children, for the benefit of those among you who have not seen it recorded, it was subsequently discovered. Thus was the prophecy fully justified. I shall now leave Khanatan, and after saying a brief word to you upon the progress made by Osiris and his tribesmen in the land of Syria, I shall set down for you the 21 commandments given unto my beloved father Ta el Duad in the great and beautiful days of Atlantis, after which I shall close this, my first book of Chronicles, unto you, my children. The armies of Osiris, having assisted the Syrian kings in driving out the Egyptian hordes, had proceeded to consolidate their positions upon Syrian territory. One after another the Syrian kingdoms fell to the sword of Osiris, until at length the whole of Syria was in the hands of the tribesmen. Even among these people, my children, had the seed of evil found ground upon which to grow and multiply. The tribesmen had become disconnected with their successes, and murmurings had broken out among them. Osirian, the high priest in charge of the Ark of Aman, had become jealous of the power wielded by his brother priest Osiris, and he proceeded to foster discontent, urging the people to worship the gods of the Syrians and forsake the rigid teachings of Osiris. For he said unto them, The gods of the Syrians are gods of pleasure. The flow of the wine cup and the strain of the dance give them great delight, whereas the gods of Osiris hideth himself, and will not allow his features to be carved in stone. Behold, I will show you gods who will go before you in battle, striking terror into the hearts of your enemies. And when the people heard what Osirian said, they lifted up their voices and acclaimed him, saying amongst them that his words were words of wisdom. When words of this was brought unto Osiris, he was exceedingly wrath, and assembling a great multitude of the people, he appeared before them. For he had been absent from the people, having gone to the temple which he had erected on the heights of the Sinai peninsula. And while he had been away, Osirian and his followers had sought to undermine his authority. A great electric storm raged during Osiris's absence, which had caused him to delay his return still further until it should abate somewhat. Osirian cunningly told the multitudes that Osiris had left them to perish, and had himself suffered a like fate at the hands of the angry gods of the Osirians in the Mount of Sinai. He further told them that if they prayed unto the Syrian gods, they would withdraw their wrath and cause a storm to cease its raging. This was it, my children, that Osiris found the people in revolt, and having raised up shrines and images to Ashtoreth and other Syrian god and goddesses. When the sullen multitudes had appeared before him, he opened the ark of Ammon, and drew out the sacred book to me, Osiris, and of her who was even Isis. And he did cast down the tablets which are of stone. And they were shattered in 1,000 pieces. At the same time did lightning come out of the clouds, and did strike the sacred vessels, so that they were destroyed. And the earth quaked so much that many were swallowed up, even as was the case with the evil ones of Atlantis. And when the people saw what had happened, they became afraid, and with one accord fell down and worshipped the god of the ark of Osiris. Then was it, my children, that I appeared unto Osiris in a dream, and commanded him to again reconstruct the tablets of stone, and write again the laws which he had given unto the people at my command. My children, I would warn you of one thing. Do not assume that the laws of Osiris were the same as the 21 commandments of Ta-el-Duad, because they are not. I shall complete this chapter by giving unto you the laws of Osiris, as imparted unto him by me in a dream, and afterwards inscribed upon stone, that they might be able to be read by the people under his charge. The next and final chapter of this, my first book of Chronicles, shall be devoted entirely to the 21 commandments of my beloved father Ta-el-Duad. The laws of Osiris, which I shall now set before you, my children, were given unto him by me, Osiris, in order that he should have a standard code of morality with which to rule the people, over whom he had assumed command. I would also make one important thing clear unto you. The 10 commandments set down in the Bible are laws which have been drawn up from time to time, until they have finally arrived in their present form. But they are not a copy of the original laws given unto Osiris by me, Osiris. The biblical story has a certain amount of truth in it, but it does not portray the exact happenings of times in question. Having made these things clear unto you, I shall proceed to give you the translation of the original hieroglyphical text given to Osiris by me. It is as follows. The word of Osiris came unto me in a dream, and did command me to set down these laws before the governing of the people under me. And behold, the voice spake unto me and said, Command the people entrusted to thy charge, and say unto them, 1. Abstain from taking the life of thy fellow, or of anything which creepeth upon the face of the earth, or that which swimmeth in the depth of the ocean. 2. Seek not to obtain that which doth not belong to thee, for he that doth cast the eye of envy upon his neighbor, which desire to obtain that which his neighbor hath, without his consent hath committed the sin of covetousness. 3. Seek not to supplant thy fellow with desire to take his place, for he doth this thing is guilty of deceit. 4. Give honor unto thy earthly father and mother, that they have been privileged to be called unto parenthood. For unless the command were of God, the cosmic force, they could not become the vessels of earthly birth. 5. Seek not to take a husband or a wife if the divine spark of love is not brightly burning. For I say unto you, that so who doeth this thing is guilty of seeking the lust of the mortal body of shame, and hath walked in the ways of Satanaku. 6. Thou shalt not at any time have mortal union with thy brother or thy sister, for the sole purpose of satisfying the lusts of the mortal body of shame. For whoso doeth this thing is guilty of practicing the initiations of Satanaku. 7. Never shall any among you seek mortal union with those that are from out the animal kingdom. For I say unto you that this is one of the greatest offenses that mortal man or woman can commit before the face of the cosmic Spirit of God. 8. Speak openly unto thy brother and thy sister, that thy words may be as the sacred oath in the eyes of all men. 9. Refrain from the devastating practice of black magic, for by these things did those of Atlantis and Sargon perish. 10. Confess thy faults to no man, but seek the temple of thy own heart, which doth dwell within each one of you. Speak with thy God face to face, for he alone can pardon your offenses, by giving you a happy and clear conscience with which to appear before men. 11. Help one another as ye yourselves are helped by the universal Creator. 12. Abstain from the practice of unveiling the faults of others before the multitudes, for by so doing are you degrading them before themselves and before men. He who is faultless, let him proclaim it, and his soul will hear him and recognize the truth which it hath heard, will reward him greatly. But if the lie hath been spoken, then shall the sower gather in the harvest accordingly. 13. Abstain from warring one with another, for so by doing are ye learning unto the ways of Satnaku. 14. Honor all men as you would have them honor you. Those, my children, are the laws which were given by me unto Osiris, and I would bid you to ponder over them, that their meanings may be fully revealed unto you. Chapter 11. My children, in this the final chapter of my first book of Chronicles, I shall set down for you the 21 laws of Atlantis, which were delivered unto my beloved father Ta-el-Duad in the sacred heights of that continent. They were inscribed upon 21 tablets of stone. Upon each tablet was one law or commandment. I shall give unto you the translation as nearly as it is possible. For my children, their exact significance cannot be portrayed except they be understood in the character of the sacred alphabet in which they were originally written. My children, the voice of the Father and Mother God came unto my beloved father Ta-el-Duad through the medium of my beloved mother, who is El-Dua, and spake in this manner, saying, Set before the people my laws and commandments, which I now make known unto you, saying, 1. Seek ye the temple of the heart in which doth dwell the divine spark of the cosmos. Commune with thy God that all things may be right twixt you and him. 2. Remember and fall not into the error of deifying and worshipping divine symbols and signs, but keep them as a means of approach unto the all-powerful fountainhead of the cosmos. 3. Revere and obey the master teachers who have been placed over you. Do their behest with a will to seek out the true wisdom and knowledge of God. 4. Take no life from out the mortal flesh, else are ye warring with the 7 lords of karma, who hold the appointed leases of incarnation. 5. Take not the material flesh of any creature that creepeth upon the face of the earth, or that swimmeth in the waters of the ocean, that it may serve as meat for the mortal body of shame. For if you so do, you are leaning unto the initiation of Satnaku. 6. Seek not to call up the spirits of the discarnate, unless ye be the masters and teachers of the divine mysteries. For if you do this thing, then shall ye be guilty of practicing the abominable rites of black magic. 7. Seek not to operate the occult laws of the cosmos, unless you have been entrusted with the signs and symbols of divine truth, lest ye fall a victim to the wiles of Satnaku. 8. Seek not the link of communication with those who are discarnate for the sole purpose of obtaining material gain therefrom. 9. Do not open thy mouth to condemn any man, but extend the hand of help to all who are in need of guidance. 10. Let no man take a wife if the spark of divine love is lacking, for he who doth transgress this law is guilty of seeking to satisfy the lust of the mortal flesh. 11. Abstain from practicing the vile abomination of Satnaku, and let not man lie with man and woman with woman. 12. Do not make sacrifices of flesh and of blood, for these are the initiations of Satnaku which he taught in Sarkhan. 13. Observe the feast of remembrance, drinking the juice of the orange and eating the meal cakes. 14. Confess thy faults to no man, but commune with the temple of thy own heart, which is the house of God, the cosmic fire. 15. Seek forgiveness from no man, for God alone can forgive by granting unto you peace of mind. 16. Covet nothing that belongeth to thy neighbor, but be content with thy own possessions. 17. Seek not to take upon themselves the state of parenthood, unless it be commanded thee by the lords of Karma. 18. Let thy words be as sacred oath before the face of all men. 19. Seek not to better thyself at the expense of thy fellows. 20. Honor thy earthly father and mother, that they have been chosen to be the vessels of parenthood. 21. Speak falsely against no man, but give honor as you would have honor given to you. These, my children, are the 21 commandments which were given unto my beloved father Ta el Duad by the blessed Cosmos, after he had carried out the destruction of that evil continent of Sarkhan. I shall now close this book, leaving you to give it true thought and understanding, and a will to grasp the truth of what I have set down for you. The blessings of the holy Cosmos be with you all now and through all eternity. Amen. Amen, and yet again. Amen. End of chapter. End of book.